Hello and welcome back to the 90 plus 2 podcast, Marjohn's latest news offering for football news for the English Football League. Today I'm joined once again by my co-host Xander Turnbull.
Hello.
And the other co-host who you missed out on last time since he was working hard at Tesco, Mr. Daniel Bowen.
Good morning.
So today's episode we will be talking about the Europa League, Champions League and Conference League finals, and then going on to do a bit of a pre-season preview before any transfers have been made. So we'll start with what final was first, the Europa League final?
Yep.
Did you both watch the Europa League final?
Unfortunately.
It was a tough watch.
I did not. I don't have BT Sport, so
No,
missed
I mean,
out. It was a long watch.
it was, yeah. I mean, luckily for me, and I won't be ashamed to admit this, I was intoxicated whilst watching, and it was still a difficult watch. I can't lie. Like, it took some beers to get through the game. I don't know how you thought.
It was just very long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause obviously, Mourinho's side didn't want to concede, time wasting. I think the extra time was 45 minutes,
Yeah.
including all the added time. So it was just ridiculous. It was pretty much two 20-minute halves.
Yeah, and it ended up finishing with the penalties, didn't it? 4-1 to Sevilla on the penalties. Were you shocked that Mourinho wasn't able to get the trophy, considering he's won like every final he's ever been in?
I was. I know I didn't see it, but like I still think going into a final, Mourinho, he's got such a great record in finals,
Yeah.
and especially when being able to win the Champions League with Porto, I think you should be able to win the Europa League with Roma. I know Sevilla are kind of like the kings of the Europa League, but I
Yeah.
still think that team that he's got should have done better.
Well, I won't give that one too much time since I didn't actually say at the start English Football League podcast. I've already messed up. No, it's fine. Moving on to the Conference League final. So,
English team.
massive West Ham playing in this final. Underdogs going into the final, do you think?
No.
No, I'd say the two teams are quite fairly evenly matched, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, considering what Fiorentina finished like mid-table, I think, just above, and then West Ham finishing just below mid-table in the league. Brings me on to an interesting debate in a minute, that I'll say. But West Ham winning that one 2-1. Super Jared Bowen coming up at the end.
Yeah.
Can I mention the chant, anyone? Danny Dyer.
Yeah.
And Danny Dyer, as the father loves it. But yeah, that was a pretty good final. I don't know if you managed to catch that one, either of you.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that one then, Dan?
It was a lot more entertaining than the other one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it couldn't be much worse, could it?
I think West Ham deserved to win it, although there's a bit of obviously controversy in the first half with the fans and
Oh, yeah.
throwing stuff on the pitch. That kind of overshadowed it a little bit, but no one's going to remember that. They'll just remember, obviously, Declan Rice, probably his last game, lifting the trophy.
Yeah.
Declan Rice on BBC News.
Oh, my God, yeah. Where he was like, West Ham are fucking massive.
And then the BBC guy, once again apologising for Declan Rice's language.
Well, I found it really funny at the end. When they were speaking to him on the pitch and they were saying about how, like, obviously this is such a big occasion. They were like, "Are you going to be staying?" It's like, no, obviously he's not going to be staying.
No, he's not
Like,
gonna stay.
He's too good for West Ham nowadays. But speaking of, where do you think he'll end up?
I think he could end up either at Arsenal or I think Bayern Munich potentially.
Yeah, I think those are the two he's roomed with, isn't it?
I think Arsenal.
Yeah,
I'd want him to come to Man United, but
no way.
I think for the price they want for him, and Man United need to sign a striker. They don't know who the owner is at the minute,
Yeah.
so they don't know what funds they have. They're going to have to spend the big money on the striker. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they'll probably have to miss out on Rice.
Well, he's one of Arsenal's two big targets. It's him and Caicedo, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think Rice as well, especially with Arsenal losing Jorginho, who...
And Xhaka.
Has he
And
gone?
Xhaka.
Well, I know Xhaka had gone.
Going to go off to Napoli because Maurizio Sarri wants him again.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Well, yeah, that's
I mean,
fair enough.
Jorginho did his job, did what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he came in.
Go there, sabotage Arsenal, leave. End of.
Agent Jorginho.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he could be really good next to Thomas Partey. It means Partey can just focus on defending.
He should not be starting for Arsenal.
He can focus on defending, and then because I think an underrated part of Rice's game is what he can do with the ball as well. He's not
Yeah,
just
he's good going
a
forward.
defensive mid, like he can pass the ball, he can move the ball up the pitch.
Yeah, it was like, who was it again? I think Cenk or someone in the... He ran all that way, scored as well, so he's definitely good on the ball.
I think that Arsenal should be looking past even starting Partey, though. He was terrible come the end of the season. I don't know.
I think there was a lot of Arsenal players, though, by the end of the season that looked a bit,
I think they just were demoralised, really, by the whole situation. Like, they were so far in front and then lost it all towards the end. It's just sort of like the way they just lost confidence, really.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Conference League final, it brings me on to my next point. It's a little debate. Would you rather be fighting for relegation but win a trophy, whether that be European or not, or finish in the top 6?
I would rather fight for relegation and win a trophy.
Yeah,
because
I probably agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if you finish in the top 6, you just finish. If you win a trophy, you've won a trophy. Even if you have almost been relegated, you still won a trophy.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to remember.
You'll be in Europe anyway next season. The next season after that.
Yeah, because nobody's going to remember you for finishing 6th. But if you've won,
unless you're like Bournemouth,
Spurs.
Yeah,
Spurs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of them, they're in they're in a bit of a crisis. They have got a massive summer ahead.
Yeah,
I think it will be interesting with Ange. But no, anyway, I do agree. I think you'd rather win a trophy, surely, because that's something that most clubs, like Swansea, for example.
Oh yeah, I'd rather us win a trophy.
Yeah, you've got that trophy, the League Cup in 2013.
2013, yeah.
And you got relegated a few years after. But I saw another one as well that was really interesting. The Leicester thing.
Oh yeah.
So it was would you rather be have the success that they've had and then gone and got relegated? So they won the Premier League, they won the FA Cup, but now they're relegated in a bit of a turmoil. Or would you just be a secure Premier League club?
Definitely rather win
the Premier
League than FA Cup.
Yeah, you'd rather go down, spend a few years in the Championship again after having all that glory.
That's got to be the biggest, one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest, in Premier League history.
Yeah, definitely not. Did you hear what Rory Jennings said? He said that if Arsenal had won the Premier League this year, it'd be a bigger upset than Leicester.
No,
That's awful. That's worse than some of your takes, Dan.
Rory Jennings needs to just, I don't know,
stop recording a podcast.
Just get him on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, there's also going to be. So I was going to say there's going to be 8 English clubs in Europe next year. How do you think that'll affect the Premier League? Because there'll be a lot of games on Sundays.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think they'll. I'm not really sure. I don't think it'll really affect much of it.
What do you think?
I think it have a big impact, especially on the teams with smaller squads.
Yeah.
So West Ham, Brighton, Aston Villa, maybe even Newcastle. Just because you have to play. Look at West Ham this season. They've completely fallen off in the league, prioritising in the Conference League.
Yeah.
It does have an impact. And you see the years where the teams aren't in Europe, they can just focus on the league. They do a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. And then finally, the Champions League final. So that was, again, not the most riveting watch. 1-0 to Manchester City. A great goal by Rodri, all things said and done. But Lukaku, God, why couldn't he just not straight at the keeper? Give us some excitement, Romelu, please. Did you watch that one?
I didn't catch it. I saw the highlights.
You're not a BT Sport merchant.
No.
Did you watch it? Yeah. What were your thoughts then?
Well, City were definitely not at their best, and I think they were quite lucky with who they come up against in the final. I think if that was Real Madrid, a PSG, Bayern Munich, they'd have been turned over. But
yeah.
I mean, they defended well. They got Edison. He had a very good game, kept them in it. And then Rodri took the chance. They didn't have many chances, but they took it. And it doesn't matter how you play in a final. No one's going to remember that in 10 years, thinking, we didn't play well in the final. They won the treble, so
yeah,
that's all I care about.
Speaking of the City treble, now, is it a bigger achievement than Man United's treble in 1999? No. But is it a better treble because the side is better?
No.
And they've been more dominant? You don't think so?
No, because I think you look at City, you look at their squad, and you look at how much money they have, you think you should be wiping the floor with everyone in Europe.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that if City, City's season, I don't think they can really be 100% happy with it, even though they've done the treble. They were still 9 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah.
At one point, so I don't think they can't be totally happy with that. And if they are, then they're not haven't got it up there properly.
Yeah, and it's not in either of the I know against Inter Milan, it's not like we were ever expecting them to be a big competition or necessarily Man United in the FA Cup final, but they didn't wipe the floor with either of them, really, did they?
No.
Like, they were both a single goal margin come the end, so I agree with what you say. Like, with the amount of money spent in the squad they've got, they literally should be doing this. So.
Yeah, it doesn't compare to the United one. United won it properly. No treble where you've got 150 like alleged breaches of financial fair play is a proper treble. Like, if they get found out, then it means nothing.
Yeah, true. Well, it wasn't that long ago that they were rumoured they could be playing against Argyle next year after getting relegated with the FFP. But
150
what's happened there?
Charges.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, literally nothing. Nothing will happen.
No, obviously, because when you got that much money, nothing's ever going to change, is it? So like I said, big treble for City, but can they follow it next year?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think they won't follow it again.
No?
Because I mean, if you look at it, they got knocked out in the Carabao Cup by Nathan Jones' Southampton. So if they can get knocked out by that, then someone else will.
Yeah, he is the one who has stopped the quad.
I hate him. As much as I hate him, thank God for Nathan Jones, honestly. Otherwise, there would have been a quadruple.
Why'd you hate him?
He's just a little rat, isn't he? He's just such a little rat, and he can't even get his sentences out in interviews either. He's like when he speaks. Also, he's a Cardiff lad as well. So.
Oh, there we go.
Cardiff lad, yeah.
Got a Nathan Jones.
Whenever he beats Swansea, he celebrates like he's won the Champions League.
Yeah. All right. Well, coming up onto the next section, I have got a special guest joining us. Hopefully, if he picks up the phone, Mr. Jacob DeSico. So let's just give him a ring now. See if. Oh, here we go. It's ringing. Is he going to pick up?
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, welcome to the 90+2 podcast. We are live.
Hello. Nice to be on.
This is Mr. Jacob DeSico, Plymouth Argyle fan and Bristol UE extraordinaire. So you join us. We've just been speaking about the European finals, and we've said, do you think that Manchester City's treble is more impressive than Man United's one in 1999?
Good question. Well, everyone says about Pep, blah blah blah, but obviously Fergie was in a pretty similar position with money and buying the league and stuff. But I do think that the 99 was more impressive.
We've got a shake in the head in the studio when you said about money. What do you think about that, Dan?
He didn't have 150 breaches of financial fair play. He had money, but he didn't. At least he didn't break the rules of it.
Yeah, true. And then
true. Yeah.
We said. As for West Ham winning the Conference League, would you rather be fighting for relegation and win a trophy or finish fourth?
Oh, fighting for relegation and win a trophy.
Exactly, yeah. Because we were saying...
every day of the week.
Especially
I'd understand if you're a Big Six fan more, and if you were fighting relegation, but if West Ham, this is literally, ideal for them. It's like when Wigan won the FA Cup,
Yeah. Well, it's like we said with Swansea, for example, like winning the League Cup in 2013, but then getting relegated a few years later. You'd much rather have a few years of success or a trophy.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
A club like Swansea never really, no offence, but never really going to be sitting around the top six. But,
no, it's not.
As long as the Big Six team, really.
Yeah. Well, next up, we were going to go on to some early season predictions before the transfer window opens. I think it opens in a day or two now.
I think it is.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
So, just quickly, could you give us who? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Who do you think your top four will be next year? On which three sides do you think are going down from the Premier League?
Right. Give us a sec. I think Luton are definitely going to get relegated.
Yeah, I agree. I just can't see them staying up at all.
That's tough. I think other sides coming up. I think Sheffield United will. I think they'll just edge it and stay out.
Really?
Of relegation.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see him making a few times, linked with Conor Cody and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really sure who else can get relegated, to be honest. What have you guys said so far?
Well, we haven't done ours yet because I just gave you a call before we did this section.
Right.
I can go through some of mine if you want. I'll go through these guys and then give you a minute to think. So, As for my top 4 next year, I think it will be very much a return to the normalities, because you look at this season that's just gone and it is completely irregular from any other usual season. Like, you've got teams like Brentford overperforming heavily, Fulham, everybody predicted them to go down, Leicester heavily underperforming, Liverpool and Chelsea not hitting the heights. But this upcoming season, like, obviously, like, pre-transfers, only Liverpool have signed like McAllister so far. I don't know if anybody else has signed anyone.
I don't think anyone else
A few
has.
smaller ones, but
Yeah.
nothing major.
So I think if I was to do a top 4 now, I can't see anybody pipping City still with Haaland there. Unless Haaland like spontaneously combusts in the streets, then I can't see City not winning the league. Then we got, I reckon, unfortunately I hate to say it, but I think that Liverpool finish second next year, then Arsenal, and then Man United.
I think United will finish second.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd love it, but obviously I'm going to be a bit pessimistic. But yeah, this is obviously like pre-sign. I know Liverpool don't really have a midfield right now. Like, they don't really have a midfield, but United just don't have that striker. I just don't think they've got that killer instinct still. And like,
both 1 or 2 signings away.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, it's so early to tell yet.
Yeah, but obviously this is why we were just throwing out some stuff before any signings have been made. I'd say if we're doing like top 6 as well, I reckon Chelsea will be back up around it this year. I just can't see them having another fall off. But I don't think Tottenham will. I genuinely think Tottenham could finish 10th or 11th. Like, if they lose Kane, they're in a shambles. They've got no defence. Obviously, Lloris is going. They've got so that's no keeper, no defence, basically.
Well, potentially David Raya in there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to spend like 40 million on him.
Yeah. Obviously, like, this is pre any of this stuff happening. So we'll probably do another one very close to the start of the season when all the signings have been made and we can actually sound like we have better ball knowledge. But yeah, what do you think as terms of, Jacob, I'll come to you for the top 5 or 6.
Top 5, so pretty similar to you, really. City definitely first, and then I can see United second, Liverpool third, Arsenal fourth, and then maybe it's a push because I don't know how Chelsea are going to do, but I could say fifth. And like you said with Tottenham, I can quite easily see them having a really stinking season.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Xander.
I'll probably, for my top 6 is probably very similar to you. I'll probably say City, then United, then Liverpool, and Arsenal is the top 4, and then top 6 I'd say Chelsea 5th and Newcastle 6th.
Nice. Dan?
I'll probably stick with the same teams in the top 4. I'm not sure what order.
This is what I'm saying. I just do think it'll be a return.
It was City top, and then the other 3, I'm not sure what way around yet. But
yeah.
I think Chelsea will obviously improve. I think Spurs will do better than you think. I tell you, I think Brentford might struggle a bit next season.
Yeah,
I agree. I think to be going down, I think it will be Luton, Wolves, and Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford going down. Wow, that is a bold shout. I like that a lot. He's gone on record on the 90+2 podcast with 24 listeners a week.
I tell you, if he gets that right, then wow.
Yeah, that's really going to break the headlines. So.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Marjon News going crazy right now.
That's the clickbait. Here we go.
Yeah, the clickbait for the episode is Brentford going down. But yeah, Dan, your bottom 3.
It's got to be Luton. I want them to stay up, but I don't think they will.
No,
I think it's got to be Sheffield United.
Again, I agree.
Lots of financial issues at the wrong time. You know, they're not going to have much of a budget, and they probably needed quite a lot. Like, look at Forest; they barely stayed up, and look how much money they spent.
Yeah,
and I think the third one could be interesting. I think Forest will be down there again, although they will strengthen. Everton, I know they've got new owners coming in, but they seem to be drawn down there a lot.
I think they will struggle again.
Yeah.
I've heard a few people say that they reckon Everton could go on and finish like mid-table, but I just can't see it. If I was to do my bottom 3 right now, Luton like dead last, and I know this may come back to bite me. This might be like one of those like Rory Jennings moments. Just I'm getting to that. Okay. I just, as for Luton, they don't have a single Premier League quality player, in my opinion. I love the fact that Luton have come up, but do any of you think they have a Premier League quality player?
Not
a
right
single
now.
one.
Not right now. No.
Exactly.
Maybe Tom Lockyer could get in a few sides.
Not a chance. Tom Lockyer could get in any Premier
Is
League
he the one who
side.
got injured in the final? captain.
I think Bournemouth would have him.
Fell over.
Yeah.
Fell over. Passed out.
Bro said fell over.
Passed out.
Yeah. Their striker's Carlton Morris.
And I like
He's a Rotherham merchant. Adebayo, yeah, okay, he's good.
I think he might not be like the most potent striker in the league, but I think he's quite a
Potent.
big lad.
Smells a bit. Yeah, I can't see Sheffield staying up, unfortunately, unless they do some like Nottingham Forest type beat. Then I just can't see them staying up. And then I think Bournemouth go down. Interestingly, I just can't see them staying up. I think that Everton will struggle as well.
I think Fulham could have a bit of second season syndrome. I think
I don't think it will be that crazy of a fall off though.
I think they've overachieved this season. I could catch up with them a bit. I'd see who they sign. If they lose Paulinho to West Ham, maybe there's talk of that. That could. He's obviously a key player for them.
I think they'll finish just like 12th or something like that. It
Yeah.
won't be like massive drop off, but like not as good as before.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Jacob. Who did you say your bottom three you thought would be? Luton.
I'm going to say Luton, Wolves, and Nottingham Forest.
Ooh,
I reckon.
Wolves,
I think Sheffield United. I think they'll just stay out.
Interesting.
But same with Everton and Bournemouth as well. I think they'll be close.
They'll all be
I
in
think
the
they're
fight, yeah.
Quite a big relegation scrap again this year.
Yeah, Wolves are in trouble, aren't they? I forgot.
Yeah, see, I did negate to include Wolves just because Ben Goddard listening will be very offended if all of us say Wolves to go down. My mate Goddard will not be happy. But I don't know. It's a really tough one because obviously it's currently all up in the air with them, the financial stuff. I'm sure when we come back to this, like the week before the season, that will be sorted and we'll know whether or not Lopetegui's going. Like, it's looking like Neves might be staying now because Barcelona have pulled out. They say
Barcelona are shambles, aren't they?
Yeah, Neves has cried on the last game of the season 3 years in a row now, and he's staying every single year. It's like that Steve Bruce clip. It's like,
Real just going off.
you're right, yeah, you're right. It's like that clip. Neves coming back every year.
I think Adama Traore going, João Moutinho going.
Yeah.
Max Kilman linked with a move away.
Yeah, obviously Cody's not going to be.
Diego Costa leaving.
Yeah.
Wang Hee-chan linked with a move away.
Like they are just in it. They are potentially in a massive shambles. Like I know I've said it for a few teams. Big summer ahead, but Wolves is they have got the biggest summer ahead of everyone.
Careful with their signings.
Yeah.
I think make use of the free agent market. They should be all over. Danny Ceballos leaving Real Madrid. Yeah, that screams Wolves, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Arsenal not too long ago, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So that will be very interesting. I would say I'll come to each of you for a surprise package. I'm going to start off and say Burnley. I do think Burnley will be a surprise package.
Surprise pack. I agree with Burnley, but I think Crystal Palace could be.
Interesting. I like that.
Just the way they ended the season.
You think they're going to be keeping Eze and Elise though?
Yeah, I think they will.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Dan?
I think I'm going to go boring here. I think I'm going to agree with Xander. I think Crystal Palace. From where they have been this season, I don't think they'll be anywhere near relegation fight next season. If they can if they get a good striker in, another midfielder. They've already signed Jefferson Lerma, who is obviously pivotal in Bournemouth staying up.
Yeah.
If they can keep Zaha as well,
I saw something. He's going off to PSG.
Yeah, he is going to
PSG or Saudi Arabia. But
it's gone.
If Fabrom says it, you know it's true.
Yeah.
Who's your surprise package, Jacob?
I'm going to go some of you, Jamie, and say Burnley. I think they'll definitely finish. Not definitely, that was way too bold. But
they're 100%. I bet my career.
Yeah, put the kidney on it.
Yeah, the only thing I think Burnley might struggle with is like defensively.
Yeah.
Like obviously, Company's got them playing some great attacking football, but defensively they might struggle a bit. I know they've got like Connor Roberts is obviously strong, but their two main centre backs I think were both on loan, or at least one of them was from
they've
City.
signed that
Harwood Bellis.
Yeah, Taylor Harwood-Bellis.
He was a good player.
He's good.
But he's not there anymore. So it's like...
Well, he could come back. Like they could loan him in again, I guess.
Yeah, true. It'll be really
Weghorst.
interesting with Burnley. Wout Weghorst. That's not even a real name.
Yeah. I saw somewhere that Everton were actually interested in him.
Yeah, I know, same. Everton is such a wash club. Like,
Well, he's kind of like a Sean Dyche player, really, isn't he?
I'd be really
he signed him
interesting
at
to
Burnley,
see
didn't he?
how Weghorst did at Everton if he
He
went
scored a
there.
few goals at Burnley. Not too many, but a few.
Not too many.
We'll have a look at that one. Just
Yeah.
see how many did actually score. I think it's 2.
I think
But
it's 3 or 4. Something.
Yeah, so it's not
Come in
that
and
many
jump.
then, is it? But yeah,
But
I
obviously
mean,
Sean Dyche likes him because he brought him in the first time.
yeah.
And his scoring record in the I think it's Bundesliga is...
He
played
did have a really
20
good record.
games for Burnley and scored twice.
Oh, How many did he score for United in the end? I think it was 2 as well, wasn't it?
Score a league goal.
He didn't score a league goal, but he scored 1 in the Europa League and 1 in the EFL Cup.
Yeah, see, he knew it. 2, bang on, loves it. I'll quickly come to you, Jacob, before you go, because I know you're on a tight schedule here. Some early season championship predictions, if you've got any.
Well, first of all, we'll start with Argyle. I think it's going to be really tough next season, but I think we will just stay up.
Yeah, really.
By the beginning. Who else? I think Rotherham would definitely go down as well. Will go down. Bristol City.
Oh, I like it. I like that.
Made some good signings so far.
Yeah.
The thing with Bristol City is, I think they always seem to make signings at the beginning of the window and then they just do nothing.
Yeah. I agree.
Completely get off. They always have they have a great summer, or everyone says they do, because they bang in signings at the start of the season and it completely drops off.
Yeah. What about going up or like potential playoffs?
I think Leicester are going to win the league. Start off with that. They've got an insane budget, but obviously whether they can spend it.
Yeah.
Will be different. I think Ipswich should be around the playoffs as well.
Really?
I think they'll do better than Norwich.
Very bold. These are some nice, bold predictions here. It's like the 92 Bible anonymous ones.
Yeah, probably going to fight me. But
well, if I was to say going down, how many go down? Is it 3?
Yeah.
Rotherham, Cardiff, and who was the other one who's always in amongst it? I can't remember. But I think
Birmingham.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm all for this. QPR as well.
No, I don't think. I think
they'll
will
bounce back.
Yeah, I think QPR will stay up. And going up for me, I don't know about Leicester. I feel like they could get embroiled in it a bit with all the financial stuff, because you say that they've got a big budget, but currently their wage budget is like so high.
You're going to have to let a lot of players leave.
Big wage players are gone. Like Tillemans has gone, isn't he? And Martin's linked away.
Yeah.
Stanya's been allowed to leave.
But Vardy will be staying though. Surely he's on a pretty packet, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be the kind of player who'd be like, I'll take a pay cut. Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
just because he's been there so long.
Vardy against Dan Scar. What a battle that'll be.
That's going to be funny.
What are you thinking for... So, sorry, I didn't even say mine. I reckon Leeds could bounce back straight away, as much as I hate to say it, and I think it'd be so funny if they stayed in the Championship for a few years. Who else went down in the end? Southampton, they'll be up and around it, because they've got a good core of young players. If they can keep people like Romeo Lavia and that, they should be all right. And then in terms of Middlesbrough as well, they'll be up amongst it under Carrick. I think who was it in the playoff final? Coventry. They're falling right off. There ain't no way they're up amongst it again. The bottom. Yeah, I'd be very, very shocked. What about you, Dan? What are you thinking? I know Championship ain't exactly your...
I think Argyle will be in and around the relegation fight.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Most likely going down. I'm saying Rotherham as well. I think Birmingham will maybe steer clear.
Yeah, interesting. What about you, Xander? We haven't even mentioned Swansea here, your team.
I know. Going up or going down first?
We'll go for going down first.
Going down first, I think Rotherham for sure. I think a bit of an outside one here, but I think Preston could be down there.
Fuck Ryan Lowe, can I say?
They really fell off at the end of last season. Like, they really, really fell off. So I don't honestly think at all. And also, they started well defensively last season, but they just seemed to drop off after a third of the season. So I think they'll be in the mud this season, and maybe
I hope so.
Sort of
that would be insane if Argyle stayed up and Preston went down.
I don't want it to be, but I feel Argyle could be in a relegation scrap.
Well, yeah,
but I think Cardiff as well could be down there.
So what's the position that stays up? Isn't it 21st?
21st, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon Argyle are finishing 21st. That is my pre-season prediction. We'll get like a big win away at somewhere like Leeds or Leicester or Southampton on away day, which hopefully we'll be there to see.
Yeah, but going up,
but we'll lose against some shit teams. Like we're bound to lose against Rotherham.
Oh, that's.
Like we're bound to do something stupid. Like
we're losing against Rotherham. First game, it's happening.
First game of the season, Rotherham away 1-0. I reckon. Early season prediction, but yeah, sorry, going up.
I don't think any of the teams that have come down will.
Interesting.
I don't think they will.
I like these bold predictions.
I think
He's a brave man.
This is not any order,
especially considering the budgets they've got.
Yeah, I just don't think they will, because I think the problem is, I think they'll sort of expect like, oh, they'll go down, and they think just some of the players they have, I think they'll sort of be still like in the mindset that like they're in the Premier League, and they'll kind of think that they're a bit better than everyone else. So I think they'll just sort of, it will just come down to like an ego thing. I think that'll like they'll be get too ahead of themselves, then that will cost them like down the season. But I think going up, bit of an outside pick, I think, for two of them, but I think Blackburn, Watford and Middlesbrough will go up.
Ooh. Watford's interesting. I like the other two. Niall Ennis leading the line for Blackburn now, of course. Middlesbrough playing really good football under Carrick, so I wouldn't be shocked at either of those two, but Watford's an interesting one.
I just think, like Ismail, I think, obviously, look at what, I know he did. He started well with West Brom, and I think he was sacked a bit prematurely.
Yeah.
But I think giving someone time is not exactly the way Watford work, but if he can have a good start and he can sort of keep going, and especially since they've got like 30 million for João Pedro as well, if they invest that
Where did he go?
Brighton.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Get on.
If he's their record signing as well.
Nice.
If they invest that back into the squad, then I think Watford could definitely push for promotion, because they were at one point. I think with Slaven Bilic they sort of did, but I think actually Swansea beating them 4-0 like on New Year's Eve or whenever it was, like really kind of knocked them off a bit. I can't lie. I think they seem to do really poorly after
It's all
that.
Swansea's fault.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob. We have been on the phone for 20 minutes there. I don't know if you're going to get sacked from your job, so do you want to...
Oh, I really...
do you want to head off?
Yeah, I think I'll head off now. Well, it's been a pleasure, lads.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
been great to have you on here, mate. We'll try and get you in the studio at some point, hopefully. If
yeah, so I'll work around work and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. This episode will be out after you.
See you later.
Yeah, give it a listen. You can listen to yourself back.
Yeah, cringe it, mate. I will.
See you later, mate.
All right, see you later. Bye.
All right, and now that he's gone, I'll give you time to rant about Swansea, Xander, because you heavily requested, was it a Russell Martin rant?
Yeah, well, it was mainly, to start off with, it was a Southampton rant, but it's kind of changed a bit over the time. I just can't... Southampton, one of my mates supports them. I do like, when they lose, I do like to take the piss, because it's funny.
Yeah,
because he gets annoyed. And
it's like when Swindon lose,
and he would
which was quite often.
And he would always go like, oh, you're in the Championship, and like, yes, we are. But when you say that every time, it gets a bit boring. But anyway, I sort of started to respect them a little bit. Like I always sort of have. And then, but now they're just being ridiculous. Like they paid £9 million for Nathan Jones.
Yeah,
which is like £9 million too much for Nathan Jones. But like,
he loves it.
But and then they are waiting until tomorrow. Russell Martin will be confirmed tomorrow, so they have to pay 750 grand less to us in terms of compensation. Like I mean, in a way, it's sort of a bit better because our owners, they probably would have just pocketed the money anyway, and not invested it back into transfers, because they very rarely do. I just think the whole situation is ridiculous as well, because Russell Martin's now going to try and sign some players. I don't mind if he signs Joel Perreault, because obviously he's only got 1 year on his contract left anyway, and they worked well together. I don't mind if he signed Ryan Manning, even. But now apparently he's after Matt Grimes and Jay Fulton as well, which is really annoying, because them two probably have held our midfield together this season. Joe Allen was brought back in, meant to be like the superstar signing, like return home, but he just got injured every blooming week, so we can't be stuck with Joe Allen. So if we lose Grimes and Fulton, we are done. We are screwed.
Yeah,
ultimately screwed.
There you go.
Rant done. I hate the owners. Leave. Like the way, like honestly, no, I'm not done. The way we're going,
I'm not done.
The way we're going,
Let me talk.
The way we're going, we're just going to end up in League One, and then they're not going to be able to make money anyway. So you might as well just cut your losses and like leave and sell the club and get some good money for us, whilst we're actually still like recognised as a decent Championship club and not down the bottom.
What's the current average attendance at the Liberty Stadium?
Less than Swindon's.
No,
I mean more than Swindon's, not less than Swindon's. I think it's like 16,000.
And what's the capacity? Like 25?
21,000.
21?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
How many fans do you think you get in League One? Have you been in League One recently?
Last time we were in League One, I was I think 4 years old. I
Yeah.
think it was like 2008.
So not a Swansea fan, basically.
No, I wasn't then, because I don't really know what football was. I was
Yeah.
four, to be honest. But
Ball. Dan, you loved balls when you were 4, didn't you?
Yeah, I've always been a big football fan.
I'll give you a little bit of time to speak about Swindon. So has there been any developments with
No,
Swindon so far?
There's not been anything.
So
New manager. I don't know what's going on. He's gone on holiday and not had anything, really. Just players that we've been linked to, a lot of ex-players he's had, a few Walsall and Newport boys. I'm not sure really what to expect for this season. I think if we get the right players, and it's the same with every season. You get the right players and you do well. But
yeah,
I don't know. They promised a big investment because obviously Clem's got the money. He said he's going to spend big. Oh, I'll tell you what I did see yesterday. Johnny Williams to Bradford.
oh god,
I'm not sure. I don't like that.
no.
He's obviously. I think they give him a 3-year deal, and at 29, that's obviously what he wants.
Bradford have been throwing money at the league for so
But
long.
he turned
now.
down Wrexham to go to Bradford, which is.
you
Why?
turned down. Jeez, man.
He's Welsh as well.
Yeah, he's
I
well.
was
Why would he
I was
not go?
surprised by that.
Why would you do that?
I think Bradford must be offering him a lot of money.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
is he Welsh or is he Welsh?
No,
Still his
he's
parents
Welsh.
Welsh.
Is he Welsh or is he
Oh, to
Welsh?
be
Well, no,
He's
because
Welsh,
most a good few of the Welsh squad aren't actually
He
born in
doesn't
Wales.
sound Welsh.
Yeah, obviously.
Like Ashley Williams, he was born in like Birmingham, way, I think.
No, but Johnny's got that connection to Wales, hasn't he? Because he's obviously been to the World Cup, been to the Euros,
Yeah.
played for him.
Let's have it.
Yeah, Ashley Williams was from Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton. Johnny Williams.
Welsh name.
He was born in Kent. So yeah, he's not Welsh. So where's Bradford? Ain't nowhere near Kent. So I have no idea why he'd want to.
I know.
Like you said, money talks, doesn't it?
I'm surprised with that one, to be honest, because I doubt Wrexham were offering quite a lot as well. So Bradford must have given him a lot.
Yeah, but you got to think Wrexham have already got so many high players.
Yeah,
Like
like Paul Mullen.
the financial constraints in League Two in the Football League are so much stronger than the National League.
Yeah.
So like they've got to start like getting people off the wage packet as well if they can. They've got to start selling players.
Yeah, I mean, probably a few of that squad will go just because they won't like. Most of that squad is National League quality.
Yeah.
They're not really quite.
Well, their National League quality on League Two wage is the truth, or higher than that even probably.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously they'll try and keep like Ben Tozer and Elliot Lee and
They will keep them.
Palmer and Paul Mullen as well.
Well, Mullins signed a long new contract, didn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's
He'll-
not going to want to go anywhere.
Nah, he'll end his career there probably.
Yeah, well, he's the king of Wrexham now.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
scoring all these goals, getting all the
Synonymous
money.
with Wrexham.
Exactly. So, have you got a fact of the week this week,
My
Xander?
fact of the week, I do. It's actually quite an interesting one as well.
Well, as opposed to all the other ones, which are just shit.
Let me find it quick. Is that, to be fair, I was actually, when I saw it, I was quite surprised. But, you know, that's a good thing about a fact, and it's meant to surprise you.
I've been liking these things. Have you seen it on Twitter where it's like, quote this tweet with something that you can't believe is true? And it's stuff like Darren Bent scored more Premier League goals than Didier Drogba, which is actually true.
Yeah, that's quite.
And
a
like
bit of a moment.
Christian Benteke scored more Premier League goals than Eric Cantona. He
that-
played 100 more games.
Yeah. So my fact of the day is actually Dion Dublin, who's now a pundit on Final Score and also one of the presenters on Homes Under the Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Homes Under the Hammer.
I'll take the helipad here. I'll put the conservatory here.
In his academy days at Norwich, he shared a room with Jason Statham,
What?
Yeah.
That is so random.
who at the time was actually a diver for the British national swimming squad.
There
you go.
Such a
That is
random
an obscure
fact.
Good
I'll
fact.
give you that. That is a good fact.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else to add here today, Dan, on your first episode?
I'm trying to think. Give me a minute. Fill some time. I'll give you a talk.
Fill some
before.
time.
Well, I tell you, I will give a shout out to.
Oh, I tell you what
oh,
I was gonna
hello.
talk about.
Before the shout out.
Mbappe to Man United.
Oh no,
I'm
no,
gonna tell
no.
He's gone and done it.
I'm going to tell you how this is going to work.
Here we go.
Okay. So, Qatar look like Mark Goldbridge said Qatar 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go. Like they are going to get United. And at the same time, Mbappe has just randomly told PSG that he's not staying on and he wants to leave. Could be a coincidence, But you look further into it and you see that the PSG owner, or chief, whatever his name is, Al Khalifi, is behind the Qatar bid at Man United. So then that's another layer to it. And you look as well with a lot of rumours now with Qatar buying United that Al Khalifi's going to leave PSG.
Interesting.
So a lot of the thinking is, if they're going to leave PSG and jump on the United bandwagon, why not sell the best player in the world, arguably, to your new club for a cut rate price?
He's not,
because if he leaves, then
he's only got a year left on his contract, doesn't he? So they've said that if he doesn't sign this summer, this is what I've read from Fabrizio Romano, and Fabrizio Romano's word is gospel. Yeah. They apparently PSG have said if he doesn't sign this summer, they will sell him because they're not letting him go on a free because he's like the world's most valuable player.
He's already told them that he was not signing.
Yeah,
you can't afford to let him go on a free.
No,
I think if
it don't matter with somebody like Tielemans as much, does it?
Oh no,
because like he is like worth more to get rid of now because his wage is too high.
Yeah,
than to try and sorry, go on, Dan.
No, I was saying if Al Khalifi does leave, he would and he is going to United as part of the Qatar bid. He would want to get Mbappe to United rather than someone like Real Madrid. They've already said they're not selling to Real Madrid. They've said they're not going to do that. That probably only leaves Man City. And if he's coming to Man United, why would he sell the world's best player to Man City when he's about to go and join their rivals?
Interesting. That is
What
a
do
really
you
interesting
think?
point. Well, I would love it. Obviously, like following
obviously
United,
it's a bit
it'd be unbelievable.
Clutching at straws a bit.
How many like the amount of shirt sales as well would be ridiculous. So like, obviously, I know.
I think there's a vacant number 7 there.
That'd be dangerous.
Wow.
I don't think he'd go for number 7 necessarily. Do you know? I saw people say that they should give the 7 to Garnacho. There's no way.
No.
He's
Oh,
way
God,
too
Lord,
young.
no.
17. I like
Give him
Garnacho.
17, like 17. Sell Fred imminently, release him.
Yeah, well, all right. If speaking about United now, then so obviously they need a striker, so it makes sense. But I'm not sure if Mbappe is going to sign for Man United. Well, it's like a few weeks ago when we were heavily rumoured with Neymar. It's like that's not going to happen, is it?
I think that was just PSG. Well, I think that was more Neymar wanting to go to United than United wanting Neymar. Same with the links to Man City. I think Neymar wanted Man City more than Man City wanted Neymar. I don't think anyone's going to go near him. I think he will leave. I could see that's a Chelsea signing for me. If not,
Money
then
in
Saudi.
it, yeah, that would make sense. If you talk about United signings, then so new keeper.
Well, it's a bit of an interesting situation with De Gea at the minute. So obviously,
well, he hasn't signed, has he?
There's a agreement. They've sort of verbally agreed the contract, and now it's Ten Hag said to him like, "There's no guarantee you're going to be number 1. We're going to bring in another keeper." And there's obviously linked to that Costa and Pickford.
Costa would be good.
So
Costa's
De Gea's
really
sort of saying
good.
that
He's
he's
really
not
good.
gonna. He doesn't want to sign until he sees who the new keeper is. So there could be a situation where De Gea leaves, and then United have got just Dean Henderson. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dean
Henderson.
Henderson.
He's going off to Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest.
he's going to Forest, Burmo.
I think United have said they're not
We got
doing
Ti-
that
We
until
got Tom Heaton. I don't know what you mean.
and
Unbelievable
Jack
player.
Tom left.
Terrific little player. I mean, as a backup, I guess. But
Yeah.
please, Man United, if Mr. Glazer, you're listening to this podcast, don't sign Pickford. Please sign Costa. Costa's so much better.
It's double his money though.
I don't care. Throw the money at him. He's really good. I've watched a lot of Porto games, and he is unbelievable. And for Portugal as well, he's really good. I mean, but I don't know how Pickford would do at Man United.
I think he'd do all right because I think he's a good goalkeeper.
He's very aggressive. I like that.
I think the price was about 30 million they wanted.
Everton.
It's not too bad.
I think
Considering Costa, they want 65 for.
I think that's fair. I think he's a great keeper. But
Pickford's in a way like with his reactions is similar to
sorry, I
De
was
Gea.
just going to quickly say on the price of Costa, it's like you said with not buying Rice, they're not going to throw a lot of money at a keeper when they're going to throw at the striker, are they? Go back to Pickford,
Especially
sorry.
if they could keep De Gea.
Yeah, I think Pickford like in terms of comparisons with De Gea, he's got the reactions.
Yep.
Like his reactions are incredible. Like I think that Merseyside derby where it was 0-0, that just showed in one game that just sort of epitomised what Jordan Pickford as a goalkeeper
Can do.
Yeah.
Even when they played United at Old Trafford, Pickford was man of the match.
Yeah. But I think what he has over De Gea is like obviously the errors. I think Pickford obviously went through a spell of making quite a few errors, but I think he just dropped his confidence at that point, whereas De Gea has, throughout his time at United, like what has he been there, like 12, 10, 11 years now? Like he's consistently made errors. Whereas Pickford, he sort of had that time where he's made the errors.
Well, every keeper has that. Ramsdale had it recently at Arsenal.
Yeah, Ramsdale.
We've seen Edison be a bit wild in the past. Even
Edison's been...
Alisson was a
Alisson
bit
as well.
dog at one point. Like
Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, Lloris's period is now. De Gea's period is now.
Lloris
Loris Karius. Yeah. Who else is it? What other keepers are there at the top? Kepa, obviously.
Oh, Kepa had a night.
They've all had their periods. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be really interesting to see Pickford at Man United because obviously he wants to keep his place as England #1 before the next Euros. So this would be the perfect move for him going to a top club who's going to be competing.
Yeah. Another English player, Mason Mount to Man United. What do you think of that?
I like that a lot. I really like that. I think...
For 65 million?
No, not for 65 million. Never. He won't.
I think
never.
Chelsea are just kind of
40 million
setting
max.
out their stall.
40 million max.
Just so they can
Yeah,
I don't think they'll hold out for that. They
No
know
way.
they've got to get rid of him.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
Exactly.
Chelsea have to get rid... They have to get rid of players.
Yeah.
They need
Like-
to sell him and he wants to leave. They will take a reduced rate for him.
40 million, I think, is fair. Because I've seen people saying about...
Considering Alexis McAllister...
That's what I was going to say.
45 million.
No, he was 35.
35, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Is I've seen people being like, well, if McAllister's 35 million and he's better than Mount, the Mount should only be 30.
That's a ridiculous deal. That
Fuck
Liverpool
off.
have done.
I mean, it is a bargain, but at the same time, like, I like McAllister, but he kind of fell off at the end of the season. Like, Bruno Notta came in, didn't he? And he was doing really well.
true.
But I think 40 million for Mount's a good price. I think who else are United with? Kane is the big one. Thoughts on Kane then, Dan? I'll go to you first, being a United supporter.
Obviously, this would be a brilliant signing. But
For how much?
not for the price they want.
Under 100 mil.
And I don't think... Well, it's looking increased. They're still saying they're not selling to Premier League clubs. So, and Real
Bayern
Madrid
Munich.
need a striker with Benzema leaving. So, I don't know. I feel like if it does happen, it'll be one that happens, end of August.
Yeah.
Spurs won't all try and drag it on as long. I think United just, for their own sake, need to just sort it out quickly.
Yeah.
Say to Spurs that, like, here's 80 million, take it or leave it. If you don't want it, then move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Hoyland, Colin Moani, someone else.
Is Hoyland's the one who's like the next Haaland, isn't he?
Yeah,
They've,
he
like,
is,
rumored
yeah.
him. I've looked at his
Hoyland, Haaland.
record.
Vlahovic, he'd be a good one.
No.
Nah.
I think he's perfect for United.
No, not at all.
Back
He-
to goal
He'd be
striker.
too expensive.
I don't think he's been that good at Juventus.
No.
And even there's that video I sent you of that centre back who's like going like have a go and like, oh, 80 mil.
I like that. Hoyland's an interesting one because I think he is one for the future, but they want like 40 million, 50 million for him now, and he hasn't.
Old is he?
He's like
21, I think.
Yeah, but he hadn't really done fuck all in Serie A. He's only scored like, I think it's less than 10 goals. I can't lie. So I think it'd be an interesting one.
I guess it could be like sort of like another Amad Diallo type of thing, but just
I like Ahmad. I hope he stays at Man United.
he's a good player.
He's really good. He was really good at Sunderland. wasn't
I think he wants to go back there as
Yeah.
long as Mowbray stays, which I think he is now.
he? Yeah. Well, how much is he worth though? Do you think?
Diallo probably 30.
You think Sunderland have got that kind of money?
Oh no, back on loan.
Back
on loan.
I
No,
don't
no,
think
no,
he'll be
no,
going
not
to the
permanently.
Championship.
Well, if
I think if he does go
like
on
we
loan,
said,
it'll be to the Premier League or to Europe.
He's not. I don't think he's quite ready for the Premier League yet.
They won't send him back to the Championship.
well, I
But
think
it depends what he wants. at
He'd
the end
play
of
in the
day, innit?
Champions League though for Man United in the cups. That's what he would be, as if he came to Man United,
Yeah.
and like off the bench type player
And
like
he's-
Garnacho is.
No, I think another season at Sunderland would do him the world of good because I think you just see how much he's developed under, like, especially under Tony Mowbray. Like, he's been very good with all the young players in that squad. Like Jack Clark as well. He's done really well.
But the only thing is, Man United might think that they can get him a higher quality team.
I think what would be better for his development would be going to more of a ball playing side, a bit less physical league. I think it'd be good sending someone like Ajax,
Yeah,
where because obviously
Yeah.
the
well, he's going to be in a
Ten
team that
Hag,
dominates.
dominates the ball. It'd be similar sort of to United. Well, what they're hoping United will be.
Burnley.
Yeah, even
They love
something
to dominate
like
the
that.
ball.
Burnley
Well,
would be
in
interesting.
In the Premier League, though, I think that's going to be quite different. Cause
They won't. Yeah,
No.
I think he's probably learnt a lot from that loan spell at Sunderland, physicality wise, that sort of thing. And I think the next one just needs to be a step up. if he's not staying at United.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting because the Championship is a more technical league than like the likes of obviously like League 1 and 2.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like you're saying, he needs to step up now because unfortunately, like I like Sunderland, but I don't know if I can see them competing for the playoffs again. I don't know.
I think they'll be there or thereabouts.
Just depends if they can keep Ross Stewart fit, because when he scored like 10 goals this season, but he's only ended up playing like 13 games because he gets injured too much.
He's a good striker. He is a really good striker.
What you said about like the physicality there of League 1, League 2, that made me think about something I heard Ben Foster say on the...
He's signed a new deal, isn't he?
Yeah, he's signing a new deal. What's the Fellas podcast?
Yeah.
Say that some of the Premier League keepers would actually struggle in the National League just purely down to the physicality of it.
Interesting.
Just want to get your opinions on that. What do you think about that?
Well, I think when we went to Argyle and interviewed Randall that time, he was speaking about how fit Cooper is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Compared to like his levels on the training is like up there with like any of the first team players, and like he's close to them. Whereas like in the past we've had keepers like Kyle Leathern who's just really lazy. So if you look at the Premier League, there is a couple of keepers there where you think they're not gonna be like at the highest physical level because, like you said, it's not going to be, the Premier League won't be as physical. It's a lot more technical, isn't it? A lot more playing out from the back than trying to play long ball and stuff. So I don't know. I think you put who's like a mid-table keeper like Vicente Gaeta, for Crystal Palace. Put him in the Wrexham team. I'm sure he'd be fine. Unlike Foster would know, wouldn't he? Because he played in the Premier League very recently and has dropped all the way down.
I think some of the more like maybe like the smaller keepers in the league, like the ones who are just sort of like 6'1",
Yeah,
maybe maybe don't count Pickford in that because he's quite a physical player. But those,
he's aggro,
some of the smaller, I think some of like the shorter keepers in the league would probably struggle because I remember Ben saying they're like 6'6", 6'7" centre backs in that league, and they'll be up there for all the corners, and they have like the long throw-ins that are like torpedoes and things like that. So I think it's very much, the game's so different, but I still think I think a lot of the top half of the table they would quite struggle.
Yeah,
even the likes of Edison, I think he'd struggle in the National League.
Well, and the National League is such a strong league now as well. You look at probably like at least a lot of the teams who are in the playoffs in the National League compete now with the likes of like in the League too.
Yeah,
this is an interesting one. Just quickly to end, we'll end off here because shower if you've listened this long because this one has dragged on a bit, but that's always the way. It's better to have good content. Do you think that 3 sides should go up and 3 sides should go down?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think even
it's too easy to stay in League 2 now.
Even if you did it, admittedly, that would have fucked over Argyle about 10 years ago. We would have gone down.
Yeah.
However, I think you should make it like the Bundesliga where you've got a playoff. Give the side that finishes third from bottom the side that finishes third from top.
No, I think it should be just straight. I think the playoff, in a way, it's sort of a little bit unfair because you've got that team who's finished like 16th.
That's just a bit American, I think.
Bit third.
I think it's a bit Jeopardy though, isn't it?
But there's 4 teams like league position wise in between them, so there's like gonna be a definite like quality between teams. Like especially if you did that in League 2 to the National League, like whoever finished third, I think it was like Woking. How would they come up against Crawley Town? Like Crawley would probably batter them. I think
Crawley would definitely be the favourites.
Yeah.
It'd
be interesting.
I think it's like.
Do you think there should even be a playoffs in the National League then? Just completely eradicate that and just go 3 up, 3 down.
No, keep the playoffs, but just have the 2 go up automatically, like the Championship and League 1 and League. Well, no, not League 2 because they have 4 go up.
Yeah, I agree with Xander.
Yeah, just have like the playoffs from 3rd to 6th and then the top 2.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much for tuning in again today. This has been the 90+2 podcast. We'll be back with you soon with more transfer updates and league news.